Hey everyone, we're out here trying to see what we can forage and find to eat today at low tide, and with a special guest, Taku, also known as Outdoor Chef Life. Check out his YouTube channel, and it's kind of cool. It's not quite yet low tide yet, but you can still see all the surfers out. Low tide will be in about an hour or two, but let's see what we can get.
So badass.
It's like a highlighter. It's painted it. So far, it looks like today we're not seeing any crabs, so we're gonna try going after some black turban snails, man's ultimate prey, you know? They're everywhere, and they're pretty much the only species apart from maybe like red turban snails, but here's one right here. They won't run away from you, so pretty easy prey, but they're good in things like soups. Maybe you can even eat it kind of like escargot style. There's not as much meat, obviously, but it's still a good eating snail. Obviously, you can just baste it in butter, and they're pretty easy to pick out. Something kind of cool about these black turban snails is that oftentimes their empty shells will be used by local hermit crabs. What is that one?
It's a whelk.
Whelk, okay.
Yeah.
Same kind of eating though, right?
Yeah.
Not too much meat, but if you catch a bunch of them.
Except these get big.
Yeah.
Like one in LA, I found one. This one.
Oh. So here's an example of, not sure if you guys can see it, but here's an example of a little hermit crab. Took over. It's actually a hermit crab. It's a little hard to see, but it took over the turban snail shell. So you often see something, if you're walking around in the tide pools, of little shells running really fast. And since they're pretty good sized, we're gonna be grabbing some mussels. Taku is gonna make some ramen, but we'll figure out what we're gonna make when we're back in the kitchen. Some nice big mussels over here. Sorry, Mr. Sea Star. Since the last spot didn't really have any crabs or urchin, we're gonna try this new one and see if there's anything. Hopefully we'll be lucky. Check out this pretty awesome sea foam. Just kind of flying everywhere. So you can see how windy it is. Kind of looks like really gross clouds. And we're gonna do a quick uni tasting to see just this kind of small batch is any good. Looks like the yield in this urchin isn't too great. Might have recently just spawned. So unfortunately, apart from the one sea urchin, we didn't have too much time to harvest anything else, just because the tide was rising pretty quickly and it's a little dangerous around the rocks. So we're probably just gonna head out now. Hey everyone, we're back in the kitchen and we decided we're gonna make a variation on the Danish we're calling a seafood egg Danish using the black turban snails and the fresh mussels that I harvested going out with Taku. So the first thing we're gonna do is clean them, which is just a simple rinse of the black turban snails, and I quickly rinsed and deep bearded what I could of the mussels, and then next thing we're gonna do is just dump them into the boiling water to cook. So we're gonna cook the snails for about 15 to 20 minutes, and around the 15-minute mark, we'll throw in the mussels, and that'll be done when they've opened up. So we just finished cooking up the mussels and the snails, and what I'm gonna do now is individually remove each mussel and make sure that there's no beard left or any other kind of grit in the mussel. And what we're gonna do now with the snails is clean them, and we're gonna extract them using this sewing needle that I have. We're gonna remove it from the shell and then clean out any inedible parts, like any guts, any parts that we won't eat. So we have kind of this small piece left, and we'll incorporate that into our Danish. And this is what we have after cleaning them.
So now we're gonna make the base of the Danish. So I have some pre-made crescent roll dough. You can make it yourself, but I don't really feel like it, so we're just gonna pop this open. Before I place it down, also I'm gonna just flour the surface really quick, and then we're gonna roll this out. And then because we want to use it not as croissants, we're gonna flour the surface and roll it out a little bit so that all of these indents aren't here. Next, we're gonna cut up into 8 pieces, and the reason for that is that we're gonna make 4 danishes with one piece being layered onto the other. So on 4 of these, we're gonna cut out little circles. I have this little tray tart that I'm gonna use as a cookie cutter because I don't have a cookie cutter that's the right size for this. But I think I'm just gonna try and put this as close to the center. Now I'm going to try to carefully remove these circles, but it's not really going that well just because the tart tray didn't really pierce through the dough that well. But I think it'll be okay once it bakes, and you won't be able to tell. But if not, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Afterwards, we're going to transfer the 4 pieces of dough that have no holes in them onto the cookie sheet lined with the aluminum foil. And then we're gonna take some egg that we already pre-beat and just cover the top a little bit. I don't have a brush, but normally you would brush this on top. And then we're just gonna place the ones with the holes on top and give that a little egg wash as well. Once you're all done, you're gonna stick it in the oven at 375 for about 8 minutes. Immediately after taking it out of the oven, I'm just gonna get a spoon and flatten the centers to make way for the filling. So now we're gonna put some of the seafood in it. So we have everything chopped up. We have the snails, the mussels, and some whole mussel pieces for garnish. The little parsley, and then the avocado. So I'm just gonna take a spoonful of the snails and the mussels and then just scoop it into the bottom, and then I'm gonna crack an egg on top of it. Once it looks all good, I'm just gonna put in the oven for 13 minutes or so to finish cooking the dough and the egg.
Ooh, these look good.
And now we're gonna plate. I'm just gonna throw on some of these avocado pieces, some of the parsley, and then a whole piece of mussel, and also just gonna season with some pepper and salt.
So, before, after.
So I'll just cut this one open, and obviously gotta get a shot of the runny egg.
Wow, so fancy.
We'll get our mussel to put on here and maybe a little more avocado. And I'll just cut a piece for you and me to eat.
Okay, cool. I'm hungry.
Me too. Okay. Alright, there's another fork there for you.
Oh,
Let me grab it.
I'm taking a tiny piece too.
Yeah, you can take that piece.
Mussels are good as always. Just use my hands.
It's really good. I thought I overcooked the croissant, but it's actually perfect, I think, or it has more like integrity to hold up with the egg.
Nice and flaky.
We make this again?
Yeah, for sure.
I think maybe next time we'll buy puff pastry though instead of the croissant dough, just so it doesn't keep breaking. And maybe get a cookie cutter so the circles are a little easier to cut.
Good point. I like how it's filled with the seafood too. I'm just gonna eat this big
Yeah,
piece.
or
Look good.
yeah, I liked it. If you want to make this, you can look for a recipe in the description box below. And if you do, good luck. I don't think it was too hard because everything is kind of pre-made. I mean, specifically the dough.
And shout out to Taku for bringing me out today.
Yeah, thanks, Taku.
And we have an exclusive sneak peek behind the scenes action shot of outdoor chef life. Featuring your supporting cast, random fishermen.
Oh!